Hello students, welcome to the session of data handling. Actually data handling is a very interesting chapter. This is important chapter also. The information collected in the context of a situation under study is called data. We organize the data in systematic manner and then interpret it. Sometimes we represent the data graphically to get a clear idea of what it represents. Now we are going to discuss about data, organizing data, grouping data, frequency, range, bar graph, pie chart, finally chance and probability, then random experiment. Actually these are the important topics in this chapter. We know what is data. Actually data is a collection of information. We have two types of data. The data are primary data and secondary data. What is primary data? The data is collected by the person for the first time for some specific purpose. Example for that, census in a village, collection of colors which the students like in a class. This is actually primary data. Sometimes we have to say it is a raw data also. The data is collected by the person for the first time for some specific purpose. Next one is secondary data. The data that are sourced from some places that has originally collected, this kind of data has already been collected by some other persons. Suppose some persons collected some data, we just analyze this data, means that is a secondary data. Example for that, birth and death details data can be got from concern office. That is actually a secondary data. The next one is grouping data. That is also important. Organizing data. Or what is organizing data? The data collected originally or generally in an unorganized form. We have to organize these data in a systematic manner to draw meaningful inferences. That is organizing data. Suppose we collect some information, means we just organize it. Okay. The next one is grouping data. For convenience, we make suitable groups of observations and find their corresponding frequencies using tally marks. Such type of data are said to be grouped data. The next one is frequency. Actually, what is frequency? Frequency is the number of times a particular entry occurs. To find frequency, we use tally marks. Suppose in our class we conduct one test. No, suppose that is max test. Okay. For the test is actually for 40 marks, we have to convert into 100. So we just analyze the marks, means how many students get 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, up to 90 to 100. The times 0 to 10 only one student got marks, means suppose the student get 9 marks, means we just give only one line. Suppose 10 to 20 4 students, we just give 4 lines. Okay. Suppose 40 to 50 mostly 12 students, means we just use 4 lines. Then the 5th line is a cross line. Again 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th line is a cross line. That is actually tally mark. This is very simple concept only. Next one, a table showing entries with their corresponding frequencies is called a frequency distribution table. Actually, frequency distribution table we are having for grouped data and ungrouped data. What is the ungrouped data? That is direct data only. Suppose 0 to 10, 5, 10 to 20, 12, 20 to 35 means this is grouped data. Here we are having one class interval and marks. That is grouped data. Ungrouped data means direct data. Suppose for a test we select 10 marks, means that is 9, 10, 11, 12 like that. That is direct data only. Next one is very important, that is range. What is range? The range of the given data is the difference between the largest and the smallest value. The short form we have to mention it R equal to L minus S. Largest value minus smallest value. Next one, size of the class interval. Actually each group is called a class interval or a class. The difference between the upper class limit and lower class limit is called the width or size of the class interval. So what is the formula for class interval? Upper limit minus lower limit. The next one is bar graph. Actually a display of information using bars of uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. This is very simple. I will explain it later. Okay. The next one is pie chart. We have to say circle graph or pie chart. A circle graph shows the relationship between a whole and its parts. That is actually pie chart. The total angle at the center of a circle is 360 degree. No? The center angle value of a component we have to calculate. How can we calculate? Value of the component divided by total value into 360 degree. The next one is chance and probability. We face many situations where we take a chance and it does not go as per our wish. Many situations when the chances of a certain thing happening or not happening. So it is only chance. Okay, suppose today may be rain, may not be rain. That is the example for chance. And the another one is random experiment. A random experiment is one whose outcome cannot be predicted exactly in advance. So that is actually random experiment. Now I am going to explain the concepts briefly. Next, definition for these important topics. The first one is data. What is data? A collection of information is called a data. Primary data. The data is collected by the person for the first time for a specific purpose. Example for that, census in a village, collection of colors which the students like in a class. These are the examples of a primary data. It is primary data or raw data. The next one is secondary data. The data that are sourced from some places that has originally collected. This kind of data has already been collected by some other persons. Example, birth, death details data can be got from concern office. This is the example for a secondary data. Next one, organizing data. The data collected originally or in general in an unorganized form. We have to organize these data in a systematic manner to draw meaningful inferences. This is organizing the data. Actually, organization is very, very important in a data. Next one, grouping data. For convenience, we make suitable groups of observations and find their corresponding frequencies using tally marks. Such type of data are said to be grouped data. Next one, frequency. A frequency is the number of times the particular entry occurs. To find frequency, we use tally marks. Actually, a table showing entries with their corresponding frequencies is called a frequency distribution table. Frequency distribution for ungrouped data, frequency distribution for grouped data. Ungrouped data means the direct data only. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. It is ungrouped data. Grouped data means 0 to 10, 1 student. 10 to 20, 3 students. Suppose 20 to 30, 10 students. Like that, this is actually a grouped data. The next one, range. Actually, this is important one. The range of the given data is the difference between the largest and the smallest value. One tabular column is given or direct data is given, you just look at the value. First choose the largest value, then choose the smallest value. Better we just arrange the given data in ascending or descending order. Then easily we have to choose the largest and the smallest value. The range formula is L minus S. Next, size of the class interval. This is also very simple. Actually, each group is called a class interval or a class. The difference between the upper class limit and the lower class limit is called the width. Suppose 10 to 20 means actually this is lower limit, this is upper limit. So class interval is equal to upper limit minus lower limit. Okay, this is the actually size of the class interval. Okay. Bar graph. A display of information using bars of uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. We represent the groups of observations, that is class intervals, on the horizontal axis. The heights of the bars show the frequencies of the class interval. There is actually a gap between the bar graphs. Okay. Bar graph actually used for ungrouped data. Actually, the gap between the bars, heights of each bar is important and not its width. This is actually bar graph. This is very simple to draw. Okay. Suppose here the class intervals value do not mention the zero value, means indicated by drawing a zigzag symbol, because starting onwards we have to mention. Okay. The next one is histogram. A histogram is a graph of continuous frequency distribution. Histogram contains a set of rectangles. Actually, here the base of which is the length of the class interval, and the frequency in each class interval is height. That is, the class interval are represented on the horizontal axis and the frequencies are represented on the y-axis. The area of each rectangle is proportional to the frequency in the respective class interval, and the total area of the histogram is proportional to the total frequency. Because of the continuous frequency distribution, the rectangles are placed continuously side by side with no gap between adjacent rectangles. Actually, histogram used for grouped data. No gap between rectangles. Okay. Height and width of each rectangle are equally important. Circle graph or pie chart. A circle graph shows the relationship between a whole and its parts. We divide the whole circle into various sectors. That is these parts. Okay, the size of each sector is proportional to the information or activity it represents. A pie chart is actually a circular graph only. Okay, which shows the total value with its components. Actually, the circle is divided into sectors and the area of the sector is proportional to the information given. The area of a circle represents the total value and the different sectors of the circle represent the different components. In the pie chart, the data are mostly expressed in percentage. Each component is expressed as percentage of the total value. Actually, the total angle at the center of a circle is 360 degree. And we want to calculate the center angle of a component. We use one formula, that is value of the component divided by total value into 360 degree. Using this formula, we easily calculate the angle of a component. Okay. The pie diagram is so called because the entire graph looks like an American food pie and the components like slices cut from pie. Okay. Chance and probability. We face many situations where we take a chance and it does not go as per our wish. Many situations when the chances of a certain thing happening or not happening. Because we just expect today rain means suppose maybe rain, may not be rain. That is chance only. Okay. Next one, random experiment. A random experiment is one whose outcome cannot be predicted exactly in advance. We can't predict actually in advance. That is actually a random experiment.